The massive decline of British bike racing continues. Now, I know there are a few disciplines that are having their moment in the spotlight, like gravel and hill climbing seem to be absolutely popping off at the moment. But I want to talk about the disciplines that I personally race in, and that is the off-road stuff, the cyclocross, the mountain bike, and they are plummeting. There's no two ways about it. Whether it's the top of the sport, the national level races, or the local level races, we're seeing numbers drop. We're seeing people that are putting the events on losing thousands of pounds. Like, I saw a post about Falkirk losing over £1,000, and I think they managed to get that back by people putting in their own pocket and supporting these organisers. And then Clanfield, that I raced recently, lost £2,500, I think they commented, and it is just mind-blowing. We're seeing such little amount of entries, and I think it's something we need to talk about. I want to have a conversation with you guys, see what comes back in the comments, but I want to put my 2 pence in about it, because in the past I've raced these big series, gone around the country to Scotland and down to Devon to race in the national series and all over for the mountain bike stuff, and I haven't this year. And for me, there's a few reasons. Obviously, I'm now a dad, but the biggest reason's got to be financially. It is getting super expensive to race a bike, and the organisers can't really do anything about that. Like, I really tried to line up my schedule with one of the organisers of Clanfield Cross, who was keen to come on the channel and make a video, and at some point we will break down all the finances, just how much effort's involved, because they put on such a good job. But for me, like, I'm in quite a lucky position where I'm sort of at the point now where I can break even if I go to a bike race through making the YouTube videos. Thanks to you guys watching, it's a lot easier for me to do that at a local race, because there's no fuel, there's no hotel, I don't need as many views. But I'll be totally transparent, so to break down the finances of Clanfield, for me it was £38 entry, £5 parking, say fuel was £15. I then spent £25 on studs. Yes, if I wouldn't have gone to that race, I wouldn't have bought them, so I put them in, and I think I worked it out. All in, I was about £85 to race a national race. Now, that didn't include any travel, any hotel. So the guys that have had to come from up north, pay to book a hotel room and paid for more fuel, you're probably looking at more like £100, maybe more than that. You're probably looking at £250 to make it, to do the weekend, £250. And in today's climate, that is a lot of money. Like, now I've become a father and don't have money to be throwing around. Like before, when me and Sarah used to go around doing these races, I wasn't making enough money to cover the cost on the YouTube channel. We were doing it because I had a lot of spare income. We were both working full time, Sarah's not now, and we would make like a weekend out of it if we were going somewhere where there was somewhere on the way we wanted to visit. So it was sort of us being careless with our money and me being able to enjoy the hobby that I absolutely loved. And now I don't think people have got the privilege of doing that. Like, bills are going up, mortgage rates are going up, and I'm not going to turn this into a finance channel. Like, your food bill, everything's just on the rise, and we don't have that spare cash to go and do a bike race, especially at the top level, where for me, I have only ever beaten the 80% rule once. And that race, surprise, surprise, Thomas Main wasn't there. So if you could not turn up some more Thomas Main, that'd be lovely. No, I'm joking, but I get why there's such a love-hate relationship with the 80% rule, and Clanfield organisers work really hard to try and not have the 80% rule, and then on the day the commissaires took over and basically said absolutely not when we weren't really getting in the way. But I've spoken to Ian Field about this in the past, and like these big races, it's their pocket money if they go and win. Like for Clanfield, they have to put like, it's over £4 grand, the prize pot, so that's a big expense already. And yeah, the entry has to go up because of that. They've got to cover that somehow. So for the top riders, it's their wage essentially, and also if they're winning races, it's their sponsors happy, etc, etc. So for me, I can afford to do Clanfield. I'll be totally honest, I probably made about 100 quid off the 2 videos I uploaded from it. Now if I worked a bit harder, I probably could have interviewed some riders and stuff like that, but for me, I love racing. I love getting out there, battling with others. I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's already stressful enough trying to make a race day video. So to add on top of that, like, oh, and I don't want to annoy top riders like the Spectra boys or Thomas Main being like, oh, can I interview you quick? But I probably could make a little bit more if I'd done stuff like that. And I've tried it in the past and it is stressful. But fear not, I do not make £100 for local races. I probably just about cover the £40, like £20 entry and £20 fuel. But I think that's the big thing. Like, it's all right us all saying we need sponsors on these events, we need more people to turn up, but there's no incentive for a lower down rider like me to go and travel around and do it. A lot of people asked after Clanfield, oh, you coming to Samwell, or there's some sort of race going on. Georgie boy's getting in the mix of a race here. I don't know what it's for. Hopefully, oh, Brutal 10. It's a running race. But yeah, back to the point of the video. Basically, for me, a lot of people asked, oh, are you going to come and do Samwell Park? And that turns into a £250 weekend. Now, have I got £250 to blow to ride 30 minutes of a bike race when I can personally get the same enjoyment racing my local league race? I'd love to come and do them. And I know people have said like, oh, but running's blowing up, so many people run, but the barrier to entry is just so low. Like a pair of trainers and you train like 12 weeks for one event, whereas they're asking like, there's 6 national rounds, then the national champs. You're probably looking at like 1,500 to 2 grand to go round and do them all, with food, accommodation, and that's a lot of money now. And even the local leagues, you're looking at like, there's like 14 rounds of the Wessex League. Just to finish the league, I think I've got to do 8 rounds. So with fuel, entry, I dread to think, I haven't done the maths, but it's a lot of money going into that. And what I'd love to see, I don't know how it can be done at national level. We're not going to get sponsors on board. It's as simple as that. There's not enough eyes on the sport, and it's all right. I've seen a load of other YouTubers like myself, am I in the YouTube category yet? I don't know, saying like, we need to get more eyeballs on the sport, we need to get more content out, but all that does is help us personally. We get money from the YouTube videos, sponsors come for us. Like, I ride giant bikes, it is way easier for me to go do this in every video. Look at this lovely giant bike I'm on. What do they get from sponsoring like a national round? They don't get anything really. Like, they'd be doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and I think it's what Hope do with their series at the beginning of the year. And brands just don't have the funding to go and do that. Like, you think like Trek, Scott, Giant and all that would rather put their money to an event than have someone post on their socials every week, be on their bike every week, get content out of it. it's just a no-brainer for them. So it's really hard, and there is like the massive shift as well to gravel racing now, which I think has probably hurt the cyclocross and mountain bike scene a lot. Like, entries are down, and for me it is the finances, and I imagine it's a lot of other people. It's such a big decision now to do a bike race when everything's so tight for money. You need 2 bikes, you need all the equipment. If you haven't got a pit crew, you're already at a disadvantage. And like, I've been sat down trying to think, like, how can you make it more feasible for people, and the honest answer is you just can't. And then the other thing is, a lot of the fields are way smaller now, so I've noticed the senior race I'm racing tomorrow, regional champs, there's 19 people in my race. Now, I don't know if people have also gone over to gravel mountain bike, like it's the new, gone over to gravel, sorry, because it's the new thing and it goes so far into the season. Like, I think the world champs was in like October, so like cross has started in the UK. I'd like to see like it not overlap with other disciplines, but it's the way it is. It's new, exciting, it's fresh, it's something different, so people are focusing on that. And then for the younger riders coming through, there's like 2 tiers, and I think I can answer for Ben. I haven't actually asked him this, so if I get this wrong I'll try and get him on the channel, but he'll probably correct me in a message. But for him, like, what is there in off-road racing? He's gone to the road now. There's way more opportunities, more teams, more racing out in Spain, etc. What is there for him in terms of, like, there's absolutely nothing. There's very few riders. There's the Cameron Masons and stuff like that that probably actually make any money out of racing cyclocross and can get on the Belgium teams. It's really hard, I think, for the British riders to do that. So you get a handful of riders like Oscar Amy, Alfie Amy, etc., that just absolutely love racing cross, and that's sort of their discipline, I guess. I haven't asked them that either, but they love it. And then you get a handful of other riders like Ben, Seb Grindley, Max Greensill, all these riders that like a couple of years ago were doing all the junior races, absolutely flying, have now just gone to other disciplines where there's support from British cycling. It's all right saying, oh, BC should pull their fingers out. Like, I personally think they should not waste their money sending that barrier around, the big like national trophy thing that you go through at the finish line and stuff like that, and just give the organisers the money. But then there's probably people out there that would be like, oh, it'd be crap if we just didn't have that massive barrier to ride through at the finish. I don't ever get to ride through it, so it doesn't bother me at all. But I'm sure there's ways of like saving money and getting money to organisers to bring costs down. And yeah, like all of these better riders, they're heading over to the road because they're seeing opportunities, and there is nothing, there's no like benefit of them riding cross apart from a bit of training. And a lot of people's training now, if you go to road, you use this winter season to just like hit the base miles, get some solid work in for next season's races, and going to a cross race just throws a spanner in the works. And I know there'll be some younger riders as well that go to uni, get a job, start drinking, and it becomes almost impossible for them to race because the amount of time that you've got to put into bike racing to still be at the pointy end. Like, I remember when I first started, like I was saying, there's 19 people racing tomorrow. There would be probably, I don't know, 60 people on the start line. Getting in the top 20 was bloody good effort. Like, you had to graft your backside off for that. And I remember the first time I got a British cycling point, I thought I was an absolute legend. Now I can race, turn up at a regionals champs where there's medals on the line and get a 19th place if I come last. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And I don't know, is there an answer to it? Probably not. I think a lot of sports have ups and downs, and eventually maybe people get bored of gravel, come back to the cyclocross world, come back to a bit of mountain biking, and we can get the numbers back up. But yeah, like there's nothing in it for the younger juniors that come through. I'd love to see the whole schedule like condensed down. It's one thing I'd love to see, like get all of the races on one day. I don't think it's possible. Someone's probably going to say it's not possible, but purely because there's no atmosphere at these races. At Clanfield there was a bit of atmosphere going over the hurdles, but apart from that there's just no one there supporting. And if it was all on one day, I think like the youth riders would get to see some of the best riders in the country battling it out, or basically Thomas Main just riding away. And I think that could help a little bit, get more eyes on the sport. And I don't know, I've always thought like British cycling have this massive YouTube channel with way more subscribers than me. Why don't they just pay like a little kid that's already there anyway X amount of money, that's got his camera, just to film some highlights, and then put it up on the channel with some text over it saying, oh, Thomas Main's leading, this guy's in second, blah blah blah, and then at least it gets some eyeballs on the sport. But I mean, I'm guessing they're strapped for cash as well, and they put all their money into road and other disciplines, the track, where they're actually gonna get medals. I guess there's not really any benefit for them in the cyclocross scene. But yes, it's a tricky one, because I want to see races happen. I want to like get involved, see people turning up. And like the other thing is just, it's so like the off-road disciplines are so time consuming. You can't just rock up and get on the start line like you can a crit, because like if you go to like a local crit that's around a circle, you only really need to do one lap and a quick warm-up. The cross races, there's the fear that you got to clean your bike between practice laps, so you got to get there hours before, and then you got to do a couple of laps so you know the course. It's very time consuming. And I'd also like to see the local leagues band categories together. Like if the vets race at 11 o'clock's only got 30 people in it, and the senior race has only got 20 people later in the day, why don't we just try put that race together for a season and see how it goes, so that people have like someone to race. It's horrible, like racing is boring when you haven't got any battles on and you're at the back. And I found that out last year, and it's why I got back in shape, because it took the fun out of racing for me. I was at the back and I was just like plodding round with no one. There's no excitement in it. And they say like, oh, there's no barrier to entry for cross, but there is, because you need 2 bikes, you need pits. I know you can do it on 1 bike, but as you get better you then want 2 bikes, and it's really tricky. And I want to just like, this is probably going to be the least unedited video. I want to get people's opinions on it. Like, what do you guys think? Is there anything we can do to try and like ignite the flame of cross again, get more people involved? I think like at the national rounds we need to scrap the 80% rule. I've always been in 2 minds about it. I get it, but I think as long as you take people off with like 1 lap to go, so they get like 55 minutes of racing, it's fine. We don't have enough good quality riders at the front that are actually lapping most of the people that do it. And it's the choppers like myself that you need to turn up. Like in the Vet 40 category at national level, there's sometimes like 20 odd of them, because a lot of the Vet 40s will think, well, I might as well just go and do my local league. Like if you're not battling for like in the top 10, what's the point for them? You might as well just rock up, do your local league, get the same amount of excitement. And that's where I'm sort of at with it. It's going to cost me far less. I'm going to get the same enjoyment out of it. I still get the enjoyment of making a YouTube video, etc. Whereas you go to a national round, it's a huge expense, and I'm going to get like 30 minutes of racing. And we need the choppers like myself to turn up to make races have more entries, etc. The same with local league races. And I hate to see like organisers losing money and doing it because the love of the sport, because eventually that will go. And it's hard for me to comment on it because I haven't organised an event before, but I see the work that goes into it. But yeah, I really want to just bring some videos to the channel that like spark a conversation. I will try and get Ben on the channel to ask him like why he's just dropped all off-road and gone to the road, but they're going to be unedited if I can do them. I've got like a lot of topics that are coming up, and I just feel like I just want to waffle about them and see what everyone else thinks. If anyone's got any like good suggestions of how organisers can make it worthwhile, how we can get more people back at races, even like the local leagues. Now we're getting like 20 people at a race. Come on, we need like 50, 60. There's been 60 people charge into the first corner. It's bloody adrenaline, it's lovely. Even if you're at the back, you're like in the action, it's exciting. Not so exciting when 19 people are doing it. But yeah, if you've got anything you want to add, for me, it's like the time like racing takes, like with even like people going over to Zwift now, there's no chance you're going to crash. There's no mechanicals unless your chain falls off or something. There's very little expense because it's in your garage. And yeah, so the time, not enough like opportunities for the younger riders coming through. And lastly, it's just the expense. But if you've got anything you want to add, or just comment it down below and we can have a discussion about it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, sort of the George rant, and I'll catch you in the next one.